Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. More on that at the end of the video.
Is it good?
What is that?
It's booger.
Booger? He gave me the booger. It's not that bad. Today we're gonna make escarole and white bean soup. So guys, I always like to go over these ingredients. Prepping them only took about 5 minutes. Probably the hardest thing to do was to dice the pancetta, and we're using 1/4 pound. The rest of the ingredients, we have 3 cloves of garlic sliced. You can use plenty more garlic in this if you like. I have 3 cans of cannellini beans. The print recipe has a 1 pound bag of dried beans, roughly about 3.5 16-ounce cans, maybe even a little bit more. But you can add more beans if you like. You can take some out. You can add more potatoes. Potatoes, it's 2 medium russet potatoes that's in the recipe. I used 1 massive russet potato today, which gave me almost 2 cups of potato. The potatoes add more of a starchiness to it, will be more of a thickener along with cannellini beans. Celery, we used 3 ribs of celery, and we used 1 medium onion, but that onion was pretty large too, so that gave us about a little bit over 1 cup of onion. 6 cups of low sodium chicken stock. This is 1 bunch of escarole. This is always the size that they come in. You know, speaking of if you can't find it, which is going to be a high probability if you live outside of like the New York, New Jersey area, you can use kale, you can use spinach, you can use any kind of green that you like for this. But escarole is good, and this soup is typically made with it. Final ingredient besides olive oil, salt, and pepper is Parmigiano Reggiano. I have a rind here, which is gonna flavor the soup, and then I have a block here, which we will grate more on at the end. So let's get to preparing it right now. These really like outside leaves, you can remove these, okay? You can discard those. You can save them in your compost pile. And I typically don't go crazy with how many I remove, but there, and you can see right there what I just removed, 1 leaf, all that dirt. Okay, so it's just gonna be like, there's dirt everywhere here. It's on every leaf. That's just how escarole is. I'm gonna cut the bottom core off here. Okay, this, again, put that for your compost. You know, this doesn't look too bad. There's not a crazy amount of dirt. And I'm just gonna chop it like into about 3-inch slices. You can also tear everything with your hands. The top of the escarole here, like this end part, is typically not so good either. So like basically all this stuff. So same thing, I'll kind of like get rid of that part and add that to the compost. These are all good, all these pieces. They're just extremely dirty, and we need to clean them well. So I have like a standard salad spinner that you would find from Amazon. Typically I'll do 2 batches. So like I'll do 1, so I can really clean it well. I have a Dutch oven. This is the perfect pot to make a soup. Let's turn the heat to about medium, maybe a touch less than medium. And let's get all of our pancetta in. So we're gonna let this mostly render. Means it'll take about 10 minutes. And rendering will, all the fat, which is a ton of fat on here, will liquefy. A lot of it will liquefy, and that's going to flavor our soup. The recipe does call for the pancetta and the olive oil. We want like a lot of fat in this because we're putting the potatoes in there. It's all gonna absorb it. So I'm gonna put more olive oil in here too. 1/4 cup of olive oil or extra virgin olive oil and pancetta. If you don't have pancetta, you wanna keep it vegetarian, just use like a 1/2 cup of olive oil. Okay, so now you can see that this pancetta has rendered a lot. Not super crispy, and that's not what we're trying to do here. We're gonna continue to cook it in the soup. If we would just throw the pancetta in and not do this, then you'd have a lot of just like fatty pieces. You need the fat to liquefy. So let's get the onion and the celery in here now. And we're just gonna let these soften for about 5 to 7 minutes. And they're gonna absorb a lot of that pancetta fat and the olive oil. If you want more veggies, put more veggies in. If you wanna put carrots in. Okay, so that's been about 7 minutes on the celery. The onions are nice and soft. Everything's looking good. Here's the potatoes. So they're gonna go in. These are gonna help like really thicken up the soup. And we're just gonna coat all the potatoes now with all that pancetta fat. And guys, you could use bacon too in here if you don't have pancetta. A ham hock would be great, ham bone. You could even use like crumbled Italian sausage, like a pound. That would be good. All right, so we're gonna just keep stirring this, getting this coated well, and let these cook for about 5 minutes. Okay, now they're getting softer. Everything is really coming together nicely. Let's put the garlic in. The reason I just saved the garlic to the end so it doesn't burn, because there's a lot of stuff going on here. You try to make a little open spot inside your Dutch oven, get a tiny bit of color on it now, and just let this cook out for about 2 minutes until you start to smell the garlic, and then after that, then we can add our stock in and our beans. All right, this is really nice now. Everything is just looking great. We're going to put in our stock. This is 6 cups of low sodium chicken stock that I'm gonna try not to spill. I always spill it out of this thing. Yeah, why does it always come out the back? Always. Guys, turn the heat up to high, and then with your wooden spoon and a flat edge spoon like this works really well. Just scrape the bottom because there's a lot of brown bits down there, and you'll be able to remove them easily. How do you know, like you can't see down there, how do you know if you removed them? You just won't feel, like you won't feel resistance anymore. I'm gonna bring this up to a boil, and we're gonna, at the same time right now, you can add your beans right in. So I'm just gonna add them in with that liquid. It's gonna make it a little starchier. If you have an extra, Parmigiano rind, I would use it. It will add a lot of flavor in here, but if you don't have it, some more grated cheese at the end, which I'm gonna serve on it anyway. So now it's boiling. Turn the heat down to keep it at a simmer, so probably a little less than medium, and let this go uncovered for about 20 minutes, and it'll start to thicken up, and then we will put our escarole in. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes. What you should do is you can check your potatoes, see if they're soft enough. Just go like this. See if they're fork tender, and they clearly are. They're like breaking apart. Russet potatoes, which is what I used, they're a little starchier, to help thicken a little bit better than say a Yukon Gold, which a Yukon Gold is kind of like in between potato, between a waxy and a starchy. Give it a little taste now. We can taste again after we put the escarole in. Definitely want a good amount of black pepper. Okay, so what we're gonna do now before we put the escarole in, but you could also do it when the escarole is in. It's just easier to do it now. You could take an immersion blender here and you can thicken up the soup a lot, or you could just take your wooden spoon and just mash the beans on the side. I like to just mash them, and the potatoes too, mash some of those potatoes. If they're not soft enough when you go to do this, like when you fork test it, just let it keep cooking for a while. That's all you have to do. Okay, so I mashed up a lot, and that's pretty much the consistency I have now. Just gonna put in all the escarole. Don't worry about if you come up to the top, just get it in there because it's gonna shrink down a lot. So it might take about 10 minutes here to get it soft and tender. That's all you're looking for. And then we will re-season again, and then we will bring down the taste tester. All right, guys, I removed the parm rind. I tasted it again. I'm gonna season with a little bit more salt. Remember, even if it was good before, I just put all that plain escarole in there, so it needs more now. And I'm going to season it with more pepper too. It's got a really great flavor. Escarole has been going for about 7 minutes. You could easily let it go longer, but I just tasted like one of the thicker pieces there, and just make sure that it's tender enough to your liking. If you're too thick for some reason, just thin it with a little bit more chicken stock or water. If you're too thin, you might have a problem, but if you didn't mash all your beans, then you can go back and do that. You should be good if you follow just this amount. All right, we'll bring them down right now. All right, guys, we had a little malfunction. We lost our audio, which happens too much. So he's already had a whole bowl of this. We filmed it, the mic. So we're gonna try this again right now.
So I'll probably just take a bite and then I'll give it the rating.
Well, let's show people you would like some more olive oil, extra virgin.
I love olive oil.
Yeah. Want a little cheese?
Yeah. I think it just looks satisfying.
Yeah.
Still tastes the same.
Okay, James, what did I get?
8 1/4.
8 1/4 again. All right.
Yeah.
All right, that's the same as last time.
It wasn't quite like an 8. I think it was a little better than an 8, but it wasn't an 8 1/2.
What do you like about it? Like you said,
Okay, so I like how thick it is, but I think it could be a little bit more creamy. Maybe because the beans and the potatoes in there are the only thing that's thickening it up. Maybe put some heavy cream in it.
Heavy cream?
Yeah.
Oh, I get enough. I get enough flack for the amount of heavy cream I use in my recipes.
Do you like some? I said this in the video before. I feel like some good crunchy pancetta would be good in it.
That is a good, and I'm glad you brought it up again because we almost would forget. Remember when I was rendering in the beginning, you could pull some of that out, make your soup, and then put some of the crunchy bits on top. That's a really good idea, James.
Oh, and the other thing is that it needs more salt. Just a tiny bit more salt. I think almost everything you make needs more salt. No offense, but that's just me.
that's
I think everything needs a lot of salt.
That's fine. Don't have to worry about your blood pressure yet. He's like, I'm on blood pressure meds. You're like, you just got into middle school. Well, thanks, James.
You're welcome. Oh, wait. I almost forgot about the Bean Boozled.
He told me before he wanted to do this, so.
I got these for Christmas in my stocking.
Oh God, I'm terrified to have one of these. Just one in each hand. You do not pick like the booger one for me or anything.
You have the booger or the peach. I've either old Band-Aid or pomegranate.
I'm trying it, James.
Is it good?
What is that?
It's booger.
Booger? He gave me the booger. It's not that bad.
No, the pear.
The pear.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so this is
you're gonna
either,
have to wait till next time.
This is either old Band-Aid or pomegranate. Ew, wait.
He's the one who wanted to do it, and he's the one who suffered the consequences.
Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that can help you stand out with a sleek and beautiful website, engage your audience, and sell almost anything, whether it be the content you create, your time and attention, or your products. For food bloggers, Squarespace offers powerful tools that allow you to share videos and recipes. They also have e-commerce templates, inventory management, and a checkout process that allows for secure payments. And Squarespace scheduling features makes it easy for clients to view your availability and schedule appointments with you. So head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/sipandfeast to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.